Yo ho, internet guys! Video ahoy! This is Mr. Lobo with another very spontaneous and casual unboxing video for you. I started chewing gum to seem more, relatable and unprofessional, because that is what it takes to make it in the industry today. So, for you, I am going to be, just a regular guy that you could open a box with. So that's what I'm working on, and we are very excited to see what is in the P.O. box today. Whoa! Thank you, Glagonar. Glagonar, ladies and gentlemen, has been going down to the post office for me. This is heavy. It's got the what's that, Jamaican flag on it, and I wish you could feel how heavy this is. This might weigh maybe 11 pounds, perhaps. I'm not sure, but I can feel a little strain in my arms from the weight of it. So we'll just carefully put it down like this. This is from obviously from the UK, not from the U.S. Postal Service, because the corners are pretty pristine, as you can see, and it's closed off with some tape, and it's from Wrench Productions. Oh, I hope it's our new comics, perhaps. Who knows? So I was going to do something different today. I was going to perhaps use the Book of the Dead and perhaps find a box opening spell. Opus Sesamius or Boxus Erectus. I'm not sure. There's got to be a spell in here. Maybe we could just raise a demon from hell that could just tear into the box for us. Let's see here. There's nothing in the appendix or the gallbladder, so it might be volume 2 that has everything about box opening spells. So we're a little out of luck. We may have to go back to the old-fashioned way of doing these unboxing videos, using our mortal ways, using a little bit of the old elbow grease or jointus ointment, or jointment, as they say in Jamaica, which is part of the UK. They recently there was some sort of vote, and now Jamaica is part of the UK, because this is from the UK, and Wrench Productions, our friends. So this is very exciting. Like I said, I do hope it's comic books, because Wrench Productions knows how to make some great comic books. So the first thing I think I'm going to try and do is perhaps just jam a hole in there with this pencil. Mr. Lobo does not like to use sharp implements, so try to find things around the house that'll help me get into a box without cutting my veins open. So we're just gonna, we probably should be safe, really safe, before we try anything that dangerous. I have some re-sterilized gloves. Let's see here. See, I've got one for this side and one for that side. And they have been recently re-sterilized. So this will help keep us safe. Where does my pinky got smaller? Oh, no, backwards. And now, here we go. So now we've got our rubber gloves on, and then we'll put our safety goggles. Well, we don't have safety goggles, so Mr. Lobo's going to go ahead and use these 3D glasses, but apparently I'm having a hard time these staying on. I think that maybe my head's gotten bigger. I know a lot of you have been saying that Mr. Lobo's head's gotten bigger, so that could be the case here. We were going to have to just somehow be real careful and not get anything jammed in my eyes without the safety goggles. I do have my standard glasses, which allow for some protection. So the first thing we want to do is to try to jam this pencil and get an opening in this box. So let's just put that. Oh, now we can't. can't get the pencil out. That's okay. We have a lot of other methods. Of getting into this box, so which is very exciting. There's these here. You can, this harmonica can get you into a box. A lot of people don't know this, but if you just hit a certain frequency, let's see here. Oh, wrong way. No, that's not right. If you hit a certain frequency, the box will just shatter like glass. Okay, so you just try to get this up. You know, you have to do it for such a long time to keep that vibration up that it's just going to take too long to shatter this cardboard with the in the P of key for package. So that won't work this time. But if we had more time, we could indeed shatter this box with hitting that frequency. The next thing I will try to get, yes, the remote. A lot of standard remote for your television. Sometimes if you just have something different on in the background, you know, just makes it easier. I know Mr. Lobo has his patented, tried and true safety scissors. Again, we don't want to jab ourselves. We don't want to cut ourselves. Okay, this is time out for safety. So always look for that rounded tip, which knows that you're going to be safe. So we're going to go ahead and snip our way into this with the safety scissors. Looks like there's some big industrial kind of tape right here, and perhaps a little bit this way. Maybe I can use this popsicle stick to hit it the rest of the way. Well, maybe the popsicle stick was a bad idea. Let's see here. Maybe if we make a dotted line first where we're supposed to go, like that, and then we could take the edge of this harmonica and just go bam! Look at that. There. Look at that. So, there. Oh, wow, look at this. A pencil that came all the way from the UK. This is totally amazing. They're like exactly like the pencils that we use. Although I think you write with the other hand over there. It's different, I know, but that's cool. Wow, that is so neat. So anyhow, this is something from a print shop. So, oh, look at this. Look at this, a sheet of chipboard. You know, this stuff is kind of expensive if you were to buy it. You know, it's if you want to make your own cereal box or something like that. You know, you need this kind of thing. It's excellent to print on because it's so smooth. So this is we'll save this so in case we want to make some packaging later. We'll use that chipboard. And then look, this looks like the floor sweepings from a print shop. Look at all this great shredded paper, you know? I mean, this is like part of someone's work day, you know? They push this along with a broom and they're kind enough to just drop it right in this box for us. Fantastic. Oh, and there's something else. This can't be what's so heavy, right? There's something else in here. And look at this. Oh, speaking of hermetically sealed, it's a stack of funny books. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, can you see that? You see what those are? This is a stack of comics, and I don't know if I can get in them. Not with these mittens. Maybe we'll try to use the safety scissors. We'll try not to damage them. Try to get into these comic books. Can't wait to see what they are. Oh, Mr. Lobo loves a good funny book, you know? All the captions and onomatopoeias and gutters, you know? It's like that's the most important part of the comic book. That little white strip in between that picture and that, well, actually it's usually between that picture and that picture. But that little gap in between those two pictures, because that's where you get to write the story. Anyway, so we have, oh, look at these comics. Can you see it? Bizarre Dimensions, Issue 2 from Wrench Productions. This is an anthology comic book. Now, and those of you who don't know what an anthology comic book is that if you want to do a series, either a book series or a TV series, and you don't have a lot of ideas that can sustain like a whole series, you just have a bunch of short stories that other people do, and you just string them all together and call it the same show. And in the case of an anthology book, these are a bunch of collected stories all together in one book. And Cliff Jones and Andrew Richmond made this comic book in the United Kingdom, and they were about 90% finished with it, and they're watching Mr. Lobo on Cinema Insomnia on all the way over the pond on that Roku channel, OSI 74. They were able to watch my show, and they said, look, we've got this comic book. We can't think of anyone better than Mr. Lobo to be our crypt keeper or our storyteller, our narrator for our comic book, which is kind of sad, because I think if they were in the U.S., they would have found a lot of people. But they chose me, which I'm very honored to be, look right here, Mr. Lobo, and if you can see that, can you see me? It says, 1000% truer than real life stories hosted by Mr. Lobo. And then here I am here. Can you see that? Mr. Lobo. Beautiful artwork of Mr. Lobo there on the inside cover. And then these are, look at this, fan art from the first issue. The first, oh, wait a second, hold on. These shreds here, if you put them together, oh, I see. This is like a variant of the first issue right here. If you put these shreds together, you get issue 1 of Bizarre Dimensions. Isn't that incredible? So now I know what all these are for. I can make my own version. I can make some more issue 1s with this stuff later with some glue and tape. But this here is okay. This here is Bizarre Dimensions issue 2. Okay. And as of course Mr. Lobo is still your host, and there is a nice photograph of Mr. Lobo here. I got to read all of these stories and then write my own dialogue. So when you are reading Bizarre Dimensions, this is really the voice of Mr. Lobo talking to you and presenting you this story with honest commentary about what's happening, because I got to read them and of course be part of it. There's another great picture of Mr. Lobo in here. Oh, look, and they put an ad for OSI 74 in there. And oh, another picture of Mr. Lobo. You can see that. I kind of prefer the artwork of Mr. Lobo. For my money, in a comic book, I like artwork. But you know, if you don't have a photo, a good photo of Mr. Lobo for your private time, this one might suffice. You know, going forward, I'd like to see some more drawings of Mr. Lobo. I know it's hard to capture my unique handsomeness in a drawing. You know, and I think too, when you do a third one, guys, I think you got to go 3D, because oh, wait a second, look at this back cover. Does that look like that's 3D? Hold on a second. One moment, please. See if we can get these to stay on my face. Oh. Oh, wow. Look. Oh, that works. That works. Wow. Oh, yeah, that does work. Wow, guys. I think 3D is where it's at. I think when you get the third comic book, You know, you make a big 3D one, right? Because the third installment is always 3D, right? You had the Sharkening movies where you had part 3 3D, and you had the Sharkening 3D, right? And then you had the Amityville House of Pancakes 3D, where you had that weird hand coming through the. No, this is not your cue, all right, Glagamore or whatever your name is. The hand coming out of the house in the poster. Do you remember that? It did kind of look like your hand, though, I have to say. Hockey Face 3D, the Revenge of Hockey Face. That was the third one. Part 3 is always 3D, and or was that the final chapter? No, it's not the final chapter, because the final chapter Dixie did the poster for. This is Corey Feldman. This is the final chapter, Hockey Face, the final chapter, and you know, boy, Corey Feldman just can't get a break with these Predators. But here's a great poster for you. There's still some of them left from this showing at the Colonial Theater. You can go to Mondo Delamorto Etsy shop and pick up this Hockey Face 3D, or Part 4, the final chapter poster with Corey Feldman in the 8-bit colors from the Vitcho game. Isn't that nice? 80s-tastic fun for your playtime adventures. So this is exciting. We've got all these comics here, and we're going to do our famous ReBoxing now with the Bizarre Dimensions comics. So we'll just drop these in here. And what is that? Seriously? Oh my God. Okay, we'll make some room here. We got another package, ladies and gentlemen. We were going to go right into our ReBoxing, but oh no. But wait, there's more. A whole nother package comes in. This is crazy. We got to make some room here. There's shreds of paper everywhere, and oh, jeez. Okay. Sorry, guys. We didn't know there was going to be all this magic happening. This is another box from the P.O. box.